Hello again and welcome back to Culture Time. Today is going to be about how to make sourdough pancakes, which are very delicious, personally speaking. Now this is a two-step process. First, there's a prep the night before. These are the ingredients. And it's going to look something like this. So afterwards you just cover it in some cling wrap, leave it outside room temperature on the counter, and you'll see it look a bit like this in the morning because of the active starter yeast. Okay? Make sure the covering and everything is nice on, good and tight. You don't want anything to get inside it. And this is the second part, the ingredients that you need to add. So firstly, we're going to use real butter. Now, this brand of butter that I use, Blue Bonnet, has the measurements in tablespoons listed on it, which is why I like to use it when cooking. So all we do is put this in a nice small pan with low heat. It has to be on very low heat because you don't want to burn the butter. You just want it to melt gently. So this process is going to take a while, so that's why you might want to do this first. And while this is being done, we can deal with the eggs. Now, some people like to leave their eggs out for room temperature and then separate them, which could be a bit more difficult than it seems. And I may be a bit rusty.
You don't do the sauce.
I may be very rusty.
You want me to help you?
But I got it eventually.
You gotta learn, right?
So, afterwards, you separate the whites from the yolk, and then you want to whip the white. Now this could be a very tedious thing to do, but as long as you get it to a decent consistency. I also tried it with just using the eggs as is, and it came out fine. So if you're not for the extra work, you could do it like that. So next, we're going to take our ingredients. That's the melted butter, that's the 2 egg yolks, the salt, the baking powder, and the egg whites. Okay, so let's get to it. So now I'm going to add all of the ingredients. Okay, so like I was saying, now you add the ingredients. I've already added the salt, the baking soda, as you can see on the top there. I just added the butter. And last thing is we need to add the eggs. Okay, so I'm adding the yolks first. And you could see how fluffy the batter is, because those eggs just sink right in. Less like quicksand, more like a cloud. Anyway, okay, so the next process, you mix this batch. Now, you may know that, I didn't add the egg whites yet. So you mix this batch to a nice consistency, and then you add the egg whites. Because the egg whites as is, or as the batch is mixed, will give you a nice texture, make them fluffy. Okay, so notice how it just sits on the top there. Again, like a cloud. And so what you want to do with the egg whites, you want to turn them. You don't just mix them in, you fold, the term is, you fold them in. Okay, you gently fold, and you keep folding until the egg whites are mixed in. Okay. Okay, so now I have the frying pan, a little bit of butter in it. Now, be careful, make sure you don't burn the butter, otherwise you'll have blackened pancakes. So, if you feel like it's getting too hot, just lift it from the heat for a bit, switch it around the pot. Pan. My goodness. Anyway, so you just take a bit, a nice even amount, and you spread it evenly. Just pour it in the center and it'll spread by itself. And as you can see, got a pretty decent roundish shape. Great. So what you want to look for now are the bubbles. So you look on the sides for bubbles to appear, you look in the center, and that's how you know when it's time to flip. You see, bubbles appearing. And so you flip, and it's going to look something like this, a nice golden brown texture, color, and then you end up with this. So that recipe makes a good amount of serving sizes, especially if you do it as pancakes. So these aren't made with sugar or any sweetener. So if you do want the sweetness, you could just add some maple syrup. As a complete breakfast, I have a little milk, I have a little citrus, and there you go, sourdough pancakes. Try them out. I think you'll enjoy them. Okay, thanks again for tuning in to Culture Dime. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and like always, stay safe.